welcome to today's yoga flow. For today's class, we're going to be doing another Vinyasa flow. Goal is to keep this class around 40 minutes, although if you know me, you know keeping classes short isn't necessarily something I'm really good at, but anyway, I'm going to try my best. In today's class, we're going to do some shoulder opening, some hip opening, and then of course we'll do some front and back core strengthening. Let's go ahead and get started in our child's pose. So from a kneeling position, move towards the back of your mat. Bring your big toes together to touch. Walk your knees out as wide as is comfortable for you. Sit your hips back onto your heels. You can kind of create that little cradle between your heels for your buns. And then begin to crawl your fingertips forward as you bring your chest and your forehead down towards the mat. And we're going to take these first few minutes of class just simply to arrive not only in our space physically, but just to arrive mentally in our bodies. And so I'd like for you to think about checking your baggage at the door. And I don't mean baggage of soap opera proportion, but I mean, obviously if you have that, leave it at the door. But what I mean is the baggage that we carry around on a daily basis. Anything that has come before this moment, work, family, whatever it is, leave it off of your mat. And anything that you have on your mind that is coming after you step off your mat, leave it at the door. Because when we worry about things or focus on things that have already happened in the past, or we start to think about or worry about things that are going to happen in the future, it takes us away from the present moment. And so the purpose of our yoga practice is to stay present by linking our breath with our body movements. So now that everything's checked at the door, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill up completely. Let your belly reach towards the mat. Maybe you even feel the sides of your torso brush up against your inner thighs as you fill up completely with that inhale. And with an open mouth, empty out completely. And again, deeper, fuller inhale, drawing that breath down into the bottom lobes of your lungs so much that it expands your belly, it expands your chest. Hold the breath at the top, and with an open mouth, sigh it out completely. Let's take one more of these cleansing breaths. Deepest, slowest, fullest inhale yet today. Hold that breath at the top. And with an open mouth, sigh it out. And when you feel empty, let out just the tiniest sip more of air. Then seal your lips closed. Slightly constrict the muscles in the back of your throat and begin to engage your Ujjayi breath. So taking those same deep, filling inhales with sealed lips, and with sealed lips, exhaling completely through your nose, creating that audible ocean-like exhale. And if you're not quite sure what that might be like, with sealed lips, take a nice deep inhale, and then with an open mouth, begin your exhale. And then seal your lips closed halfway through the exhale and notice that constriction, that breath. And do your best throughout our time together today to stick to that breath, to focus on it. And it doesn't have to be the same as mine. You stick to your breath. On your next inhale, begin to tent up onto your fingertips. Lift your elbows away from the mat. And as you exhale, draw your shoulders down and back into their sockets. Take an inhale breath, lift your forehead, walk your fingertips all the way over to the left side of your mat. And as you exhale, begin to release your chest, your forehead back towards the mat. Guide your shoulders down and back into their sockets. Right hip stays connected to the right heel. And if you'd like to explore a deeper stretch, bring your right hand on top of your left. On your next inhale, go ahead and walk your hands back through center. And as you exhale, walk everything over to the right. Again, drop your shoulders down into their sockets. Press your palms into the mat. Option to bring that left hand on top of the right, but be mindful that your left hip does not lift away from your left foot. Inhale, walk it back to center. And with your exhale, just press your hips back onto your heels even more. Next inhale brings us up to tabletop. Organize our joints here. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, cow pose. Press your palms into the mat. Draw your chest forward. Lift your gaze as you drop your belly. Exhale, cat pose, tuck around and curl. Draw your tailbone down towards the mat, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, cow. Hug your shoulder blades together and press your chest forward as you open up your collarbones. Exhale, cat. Maybe press your shins into the mat and imagine that your belly button drawing back towards your spine is separating your vertebra. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Inhale back to your tabletop pose. Bring your right thumb to your right shoulder on an inhale. Peel your chest open. Extend your right fingertips up towards the sky. And with your exhale, thread the needle. Bring your right arm underneath your left, reaching as far towards the left as you can as your right shoulder and your right ear find the mat. Left hand can stay next to your face. Left hand can walk towards the top of your mat, or your left hand can find a half bind tucking at your right hip crease. Slow and steady breaths here. If it's not already there, go ahead and bring your left hand back to the mat. Give a little press into that left hand as you inhale, re-extend your right fingertips up towards the sky, and exhale, tabletop pose. Inhale, left thumb to the front of the left shoulder. Use it to guide your left shoulder open, sort of stacking that left shoulder on top of the right. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky, and as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right, coming to rest on the outside of your left shoulder and left ear. And again, option to extend the right fingertips towards the top of your mat, or take a half bind, hooking those right fingertips at your left hip crease. With your next inhale, peel your left shoulder open, and as you exhale, draw your left ribs under and your right ribs open towards the back of your mat. Maybe close your eyes. And with your next exhale, go ahead and bring your right hand back to the mat. Inhale, press into that right hand. Re-extend your left fingertips up towards the sky, and exhale, tabletop pose. On your next inhale, tuck your toes, and as you exhale, hover your knees about an inch off the mat. Draw your belly button back towards your spine. Take any arch out of your low back. Stay for 2 more breath cycles here, just beginning to build some heat in our arms, in our core, and in our quadriceps. And on our next exhale, guide your hips back towards your heels. And as you inhale, downward facing dog, lifting your hips up towards the sky. So let's make sure we are in proper alignment here in our downward facing dog. So go ahead and shift into a plank pose. And if you feel like you need to move around in your plank to get to where your body needs to be, then by all means move. We're not planted anywhere. And then with your exhale breath, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Begin to take some pedals with your feet if that feels good, bending your right knee as you extend your left leg long and switching it out. Thinking about lifting your tailbone up to that spot where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you. Bring your ears in line with your biceps. Let your head relax and be heavy. And begin to find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep bend in your knees. Bring your belly back towards your thighs. Keep that length in your spine and begin to straighten into your legs. On your inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, walk your feet behind your hands, coming into a Ragdoll Pose. So feet are hip width distance apart or wider. You can bring opposite pinky to the crook of the opposite elbow or opposite thumb to the crook of the opposite elbow. Keep your knees as bent as you need here as we just begin to awaken our hamstrings. Maybe sway side to side if that feels good in your body. Maybe nod your head yes, nod your head no. Always end on a yes. And come back to center as you release your fingertips on an exhale. Next inhale, toe, heel, big toes together to touch. And slowly rise up, 1 vertebra at a time. Reach your arms up. Inhale, Tadasana. And exhale, palms meet at your heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Slight bend in your knees, hinge from your hips. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Take a big step back with your left foot and surrender your left knee to the mat. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Make sure that that right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Draw your right hip back. Press your left hip forward. Take an inhale as you gaze up towards your pinkies. And exhale, cactus arms. Draw your elbows down into your side. Lift your chest. Inhale, modified crescent. And exhale, windmill your palms to frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. Step back, high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whatever movement feels good in your body for a couple of breath cycles here in our downward dog. Ground your feet and inhale, extend your left leg straight back out of your left hip. Reach through the inseam of that left leg and flex the left toes back towards your knee. As you exhale, channel cat in your upper body as you draw that left knee in towards your chest and step your left foot up by your left thumb. And if it doesn't get there, just scooch it up there. Surrender your right knee down and inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana, modified crescent lunge. So this time let's focus on drawing our back body back over our hips, lengthening the back body, and then drawing the front ribs in and down towards the hip points. Inhale here, and exhale, cactus arms. Press your hips forward. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, Crescent Lunge. Exhale, windmill your palms, tuck your right toes, and step your left foot back, high plank. So our first official high plank pose here. Let's press into our palms, lift that spot between your shoulder blades, press through your heels as you fire up your quadriceps. Take an inhale, and exhale, shift forward, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. The whole front body arrives at the same time. Untuck your toes and inhale, peel up, Cobra Pose. Lift your chest, maybe lift the low belly. Squeeze your elbows in towards one another as your shoulder blades loop down and back into their sockets. Keep your gaze forward. One more inhale, and exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, tuck your toes, press up, high plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold, knees as bent as they need to be. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, rise, circle sweep the arms up, Tadasana, mountain pose, firm through the legs. Exhale, draw your palms to heart center, Samastitihi. And inhale, circle sweep the arms up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your right toes to the back of your mat. Surrender your right knee. And inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana, Crescent Lunge. Organize your hips, draw your left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale. And exhale, cactus arms. Press your hips forward. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, Crescent Lunge. Lengthen the backside body. And exhale, windmill the palms to frame the left foot. Lift the right knee, step the left foot back, and exhale, downward facing dog. Ground your left foot, inhale, extend your right leg straight back out of your right hip, flex the toes back towards the knee and lift through the inseam of the right leg. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hold for a moment and continue your exhale as you step the right foot down. Release the left knee and inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana, Crescent Lunge. Knit the front ribs in and down, and as you exhale, hug your elbows down into your side. Cactus arms, Utkatasana. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, Crescent Lunge, and exhale, windmill your palms. Step back, high plank. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, slowly lower with control. Hug your elbows into your side as your entire front body arrives on the mat at one time. Untuck your toes, draw your palms back a bit, and either press up to crescent or come into cobra, or come into a hovering cobra. So loop your shoulders down and back, squeeze those little cricket wing elbows in, and hover your palms off the mat. Press the tops of your feet, tops of your toes into the mat as much as you can as you lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. One more inhale, lift just a little bit higher, and exhale, surrender. Inhale, tuck your toes, press up, high plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here in our downward facing dog. And after your third, find some stillness. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, and inhale, Utkatasana. Chair pose, sit low in your chair. And inhale, bring your arms up as you sit your hips back just a bit further. Check in to make sure you can see all 10 toes. And if you can't, draw your knees back. So like someone's pressing your shins back, then draw the low belly in. You should feel some abdominal engagement. One more inhale, and exhale, surrender, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift, and exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly, or chaturanga. If you chaturanga, pin your elbows into your side. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, your choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. And as you exhale, right knee to right tricep. So above the elbow. Inhale, re-extend, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, tiger pose. Hug your left or right leg into your chest. Knee comes towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, right knee, left tricep. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Spin your back foot flat. And inhale, rise, warrior one. So heel to heel alignment. You can bring your hands to your hips. Guide your right hip back, left hip forward, like there were little headlamps on the fronts of your hips, and they're both shining towards the top of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Warrior one. Continue to press through the pinky edge of your back foot. Keep the muscles in the back leg fired up. Inhale, gaze up towards your fingertips. And as you exhale, bring your hands together behind your back. Interlace your fingers. And let's come into Exalted Warrior. So hug your shoulder blades together. They're going to press your heart space forward. Lift your chin towards your chest and maybe lift your gaze towards the ceiling. Continue pressing into that front right foot and then drawing it back isometrically towards your left heel. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step back, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, your vinyasa, or meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your left leg. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. How high towards your left shoulder can you get that knee? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left knee to nose. Hug the left quad in towards your chest as your knee comes in towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, left knee, right tricep. Tap it. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step your left foot up next to your left thumb. Spin that back foot flat, heel to heel alignment. Rise, fingertips to hips. Preparing for warrior one. 90-degree bend in the left knee. Press through the pinky edge of the right foot to draw your right hip forward. And then inhale, both hands overhead. Draw the front ribs in and down. Inhale, find length in your back body. And exhale, Exalted Warrior. Interlace your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another. Feel that opening in your chest. Maybe find a slight back bend as you exhale. Draw your knuckles down towards your back heel. Continue to press into the sole of the front foot like you're pulling it back. And on your next inhale, warrior one. Exhale, windmill your palms. High plank, your vinyasa. Either chaturanga to upward facing dog or cobra, and then downward facing dog. Let's take 2 rounds of breath here. Super deep inhale through the nose. Powerful exhale through the nose. 1 more deep inhale. Powerful exhale. Okay, find some steadiness in your downward facing dog. So knees can be as bent as you need to find that length along your backside body. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step or float. Come through to a seat, and let's meet in Navasana boat pose. Actually, scoot back a little bit. So knees bent. We want to keep a nice long of energy in our back. You can bring your fingertips behind your thighs, or you can extend your arms out long. Continue to draw your low belly in and up. Chest lifts towards your chin. And we're going to hold here for 6. Option to straighten the legs if you can keep the back straight. 4, 3, 2, I'm shaking, and 1. Okay, draw your knees in towards your chest. Slowly lower down to your back and surrender onto your back. Go ahead and hug both knees in towards your chest. Do a little rock side to side. And then stack your knees over your hips, shins parallel to the mat. Bring your left hand or your right hand to your left knee. Extend your right leg long, left arm long. Press right hand into left knee for a dead bug. Inhale, come back through center and switch it out. Press your hand into your knee, knee into your hand. Inhale, lengthen, switch. Feel your low abs contract as your low back presses into your mat. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, switch. Let's do 1 more each side. Inhale. And then exhale, press palm into knee, knee into palm. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. And this time with our inhale, draw your knees in towards your chest. And then again, tabletop your shins and your knees. Bring your fingertips behind. Oops, having a little AirPod issue. Bring your fingertips behind your ears. Elbows open wide. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders off your mat. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, twist right shoulder towards left knee. So same engagement in the abs, but this time we're also working the outer obliques. Exhale, opposite shoulder towards opposite knee. Inhale, center. How slow can you go? How powerful can that press be through the extending leg? Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. 1 more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder towards left knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Cross your ankles. Rock and roll the length of your spine 3 times. And after the 3rd rock, we will meet in downward facing dog. So whether you flow through a vinyasa or you simply come back into downward facing dog is up to you. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise, Tadasana, mountain pose. So preparing for tree pose, we're gonna ground through the right leg. Hug the muscles of the right leg to the bone and up. Use your left hand to reach for your left ankle, and you're gonna bring the sole of your left foot either below or above your right knee. So once you've made that connection, press the right leg into the sole of the left foot into the sole, left sole into the right inner thigh. Lift your outer right hip, hug it in. Drop your outer left hip and your left knee. Find a focus point, something that's not moving. Start with your palms at heart center, and then if you'd like to grow your tree, go ahead and extend your arms out long. If you'd like to challenge your balance even more, gaze up towards the ceiling. And if that's not enough, try closing your eyes. Whoa. If you close your eyes and you sway all over the place, that's fine. Our trees blow in the wind, right? And if you fall out, it's okay. You just get back up and get right back into that pose. It's like in life, when something happens that we weren't expecting, we just get right back up and continue on. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna release our left foot, come into standing staff pose, so a 90-degree bend in that left knee, and then a big exhale as we open up, warrior two. Step your left foot back, find your heel to arch alignment with your left heel, or your right heel and your left arch. Take an inhale as you softly gaze out over your right fingertips. Spiral open your right thigh as you hug your right femur into its hip socket, and then press through the pinky edge of your left foot. Fire up the muscles in that left leg as you hug them up into their hip socket. And then find that downward tilt in your pelvis so that your front hips begin to point up towards your low ribs. Inhale, reverse warrior. We're gonna do a little dancing warrior here. Exhale, extended side angle, right elbow to the inside of the right knee. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, reverse warrior, swim it back. Exhale, extended side angle, like you're moving through mud. Feel that right oblique working. Inhale, reverse warrior, stretch the right side body. And exhale, extended side angle. We're gonna hold here for 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, reach those left fingertips up. Exhale, guide your right ribs over towards the left side of your mat. On your next inhale, come up, warrior two. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. And inhale, open it up, star pose. Heels in, toes out. Exhale, horse pose. Sit into your plie squat. Bring your thumbs to the inside of your knees. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, press your left palm into your inner left knee and dip your left shoulder over towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip right shoulder towards center as you press out against your right knee. Inhale through center. Bring your palms back to heart space. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. Inhale, star pose. And exhale, warrior two. Stay for the inhale. Circle sweep the arms down to the mat. Step back to high plank and flow through your vinyasa, or simply switch back, flow back to downward facing dog. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise, Tadasana, mountain pose. Preparing for tree pose, bring your right hand to your right ankle and go ahead and bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left inner thigh. Draw your right knee down, hug your right hip down, hug your outer left hip in and up. Hands to heart center, find your focal point, your steadiness, and then when you're ready, grow your tree. Or if you're not ready, just keep your hands at heart center. That's where you need to be today. And again, if you want to challenge your balance, shift your gaze up towards the ceiling. And if you'd like to challenge it even more, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm not going to do that, but you go right ahead. And wherever you're at, one more inhale. One more exhale. Bring your palms to heart center. Come into standing staff, 90-degree bend in the right knee. Take an inhale and our big step back, open it up to warrior two. How gracefully can that right foot find your mat? And then make your adjustments to settle in to your warrior two. Go ahead and press the outer left knee towards the pinky edge of your right foot. Check in to make sure that you're pressing firmly into the pinky edge of your right foot and squeezing, hugging those right muscles into the bone. Make sure that your shoulders are stacked directly over our hips. Sometimes we tend to lean forward, sometimes we tend to lean back, but we want everything from our hips to our shoulders in one straight line. Loop your shoulders down into their sockets, hug them together like you're squeezing a pencil between them, and then extend your arms like someone's pulling your fingers in opposite directions. Exhale, gaze out over your left fingertips. Let's flow our dancing warrior. Inhale, reverse warrior, stretch the left side body. Exhale, lengthen forward out of your side body. Extended side angle. So legs stay exactly the same. Swim it back. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, maybe lower a bit more. Inhale, open it up. Star pose, heels in, toes out. Exhale, sit low in your horse. So again, these hip points are tilting up towards my low ribs. My tailbone is pointing down, and it's like my back is flat against a wall. My knees are pointing out. Bring your palms to heart center. Inhale, lift your right heel. Bring it down as you exhale, sit a little lower. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, a little bit lower. Inhale, lift both heels. Continue pulsing those outer knees back. And we're gonna hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Heels back down, come up. Inhale, star pose. And exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Parallel your feet. Tuck your tailbone under, extend your arms out long. Inhale, lift your chest towards your chin. And exhale, Prasarita Uttanasana. So I want you to imagine you're squeezing a big stability ball, lifting it up towards your hips. So those inner thigh muscles are lifting up towards your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor muscles lift. And then go ahead and begin to keep the weight in your heels and your toes, but shift more of the weight into your toes. Prasarita Uttanasana. Press out against your outer ankles as you continue to squeeze your quadriceps to lift your kneecaps. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders. You can bring your hands to your ankles, or you can walk your hands back towards the back edge of your mat, whatever feels best to you, but keep your legs super engaged. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, fingertips underneath your shoulders. Bring your hands back to your hips, and with your core engaged, come up to standing. Our exhale brings us back to Warrior Two. Inhale, and then exhale, windmill your palms, step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, half pigeon. Right knee behind right wrist. Right ankle behind left wrist. Extend your left leg back and maybe make a 7 shape with that right leg. Bring your palms back towards your hips and take a peek back over your right shoulder. So that guides our right hip back and our left hip forward. And notice how I have a sizable space between my right hip and the mat. I don't want to fall down onto my right hip. I want that space. Then layer 1, we stay here. Layer 2, we lengthen our chest away from our tailbone as we come down to our forearms. Or layer 3, we come all the way down, bringing our chest down to the mat. And the entire time I'm in this pose, I'm thinking about guiding my right hip back, but keeping that space between the mat and my hip, and guiding my left hip forward. Notice if there's any place that you're clenching in your body. Like I just immediately noticed my shoulders were creeping up towards my ears. So I'm just gonna go ahead and walk my shoulders back. Bring my forehead down to the mat. Maybe you're clenching your glutes, maybe you're clenching your jaw. Use your breath to release. And if you feel any pain in this pose, please come onto your back and take a figure 4. And if you feel like you want to stay in this pigeon pose for longer, it's the beauty of taking an online class. Go ahead and hit pause and you stay in pigeon pose for as long as feels good in your body. If you're ready to move on, walk your hands back towards your shin. Tuck your left toes under. Peel your left knee away from the mat and go ahead and bring your right knee out to a 90-degree angle. Extend your arms out like a T, shoulder height, and feel this nice restorative stretch in your hips. Welcome to stay here. If you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, bend the right elbow, bring the right hand in towards the shoulder. Keep your left hip on the mat and lift your right leg away from the mat so that your right toes, your right foot, come back behind you. This is layer 2. Layer 3 is an additional shoulder and chest opener by drawing that right hand back behind you. Now mine only goes back so far. If you're lucky enough to make yours go, well, I don't want to say make because it's not a force. If you're lucky enough that yours goes back further, awesome. And then inhale, come back to your belly. Bring your chin to the mat. Bring both palms under your shoulders, tuck your toes, lift up, high plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, half pigeon. Left knee behind left wrist. Left ankle behind right wrist. Walk your right toes back. Keep the space between your hip and the mat. Gaze back over your left shoulder, which guides your left hip back, right hip forward. And then surrender into your depth of pigeon. So even if you didn't feel pain on the other side in your knee, if you feel pain in your knee on this side, please just flip onto your back and take a figure 4. It's the exact same stretch. We're still stretching that outer hip, the piriformis. Otherwise, soften into your stretch. Direct your breath into that left hip, left piriformis. Soften around your face, maybe even smile. Lift the corners of your mouth. And continue to isometrically draw your left hip back, right hip forward. Can you lengthen your chest forward towards the top of your mat a little bit more? Can you draw your tailbone back towards your right heel? And again, if you'd like to hit pause and stay here for longer, please hit pause and stay for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, walk your hands up underneath your shoulders, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and just swing your left knee out to that 90-degree angle. So our gaze is to the left this time. Extend your arms out like a T. Enjoy the restorative posture here. If you'd like to take it a bit further. Go ahead and slide the left hand in towards your left shoulder so that your left elbow bends. Begin to shift your weight onto your right hip as you peel your left foot away from the mat. And your left foot comes behind you, sort of like a wild thing. Then keep your left hand here, or if you'd like a deeper shoulder opener, go ahead and peel your left hand off the mat and just begin to reach your left hand back towards your right. So you should feel a nice opening in the front of your right shoulder here. And just continue to guide your left knee open. Slow and steady breath. Bring your left hand back, left leg back. And from here, we're just going to shift onto our backs. Go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock side to side. Curl yourself up into a tight, tiny little ball, compressing your thighs in towards your belly as much as you can. Take a big, deep inhale, breath of gratitude for yourself for showing up on your mat today, and an open mouth exhale as you surrender into Shavasana. Give a little press into the back of your head, snuggle your shoulder blades in towards one another. Let your shoulders be heavy. Let your head be heavy. Let your entire body just surrender onto the mat here. Come back to a natural rhythm of breath as your tongue falls away from the roof of your mouth. Your eyes are heavy in their sockets. And again, where else can you soften? Where else can you let go? If you have the gift of time, stay for as long as you can. If you're ready to move on with me, simply begin to deepen your breath. Think about drawing your breath in from your toes up towards your lungs. And let your exhale follow the reverse path from the legs out into the toes. Our next breath, we're going to draw from our fingertips, up our arms, into our lungs, hold it. And as we exhale, the air comes out of the lungs, into the shoulders, down the arms, and into the fingertips. Begin to wiggle your fingertips, wiggle your toes, maybe rock your head side to side, and extend your arms long overhead as you reach your toes forward. Hollow your belly as you press your low back into the mat. Begin to bend your knees, draw them in towards your chest, and shift to your right side. I'm going to shift to my left just because I'm looking at you on this side, but you shift to your right side. Bring your left palm to the mat. And again, just take a nice deep breath in here in this restorative posture. Go ahead and press yourself back up to a cross-legged seat. Palms together at heart center, reminding us to have patience, reminding us to have kindness. Inhale your thumbs to your third eye center. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you guys. I will see you back here in a couple of days. If you have any requests for postures or anything you'd like to do in a flow, please let me know. I'm open to suggestion. Actually, I welcome it. And if you'd like a playlist to go along with this flow, let me know. I have plenty. I have one in mind particularly that goes with this practice, and I will send it to you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay well. Bye guys.